A new polling showing a seismic shift in priorities among Latino voters. Among the changes, abortion, now one of the top 5 issues for Latinos for the first time ever. NBC News correspondent Morgan Radford joins us now with an exclusive early look at the latest numbers. Morgan.
Hey there, Mika. Joe, good morning. This latest poll was commissioned by Unidos US and Mi Familia Vota, 2 Latino advocacy groups, and really is striking just how big these changes are. So among more than 2,700 eligible Latino voters, the top issues are now 1, inflation, 2, crime, and 3, gun violence. But one striking addition to this list is the issue of abortion. Of course, this is following the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Well, now 19% of Latino voters say abortion is among their top issues. That's up from just 3% in polling from 2 years ago. Another big takeaway from this polling that could have pretty major implications in November is that 60% of Latino voters now say the country is on the wrong track. That number is even higher in some key swing states like Florida, like Nevada. So we spoke to Latino voters to really hear what they thought about these issues in particular. Here's some of what they told us.
I'm definitely going to vote. Biggest issues for me, I think it's insane that abortion is illegal now.
Housing is a big thing for me. I think it's absurd how expensive things are getting. I'm a teacher in Boston, and I can't even live in Boston to teach.
Rent is also going up really high. I'm really scared. Mine goes up in 2 months, so I'm really scared to figure out what that's going to be like.
Housing, rent, inflation, the economy. The big picture, the poll shows just 59% of Latino voters say they're completely certain they will, in fact, turn out to vote in the midterms, which is actually down slightly from previous years. So it's a sign that both political parties, Democrats, Republicans, still have a lot to do when it comes to really engaging Latinos on these particular issues, Mika.
So going back to the issue of abortion, did the polling take a look at who is saying that and how big this community might be responding to this Supreme Court decision?
That's a great question, and it's actually pretty fascinating. So one of the questions they asked in this poll had this exact wording, quote, "No matter what my personal beliefs about abortion are, I think it is wrong to make abortion illegal and take that choice away from everyone else." So 76% of Latino voters agreed with that statement, that it's wrong to make abortion illegal, no matter their personal beliefs. But if you actually look at those numbers a little bit closer and you break them down, you find that 55% of Republican Latino voters agree with that. 76% of Catholic Latino voters agreed with that. So, look, if you're a candidate hoping to connect with Latino voters on this particular issue, it's certainly a reminder that this community is anything but simple, even when it comes to a big controversial issue like abortion.
You know, that is such a great point, Morgan, because I have assumed, a lot of people have assumed, that Hispanic voters are more conservative on issues, whether you're talking about abortion or other wedge issues, social issues, and perhaps they are. But this also reflects what we've seen overall in abortion polling, that even people who consider themselves to be pro-life are really shaken by the Supreme Court decision. And when you go all the way down, as you did here, into the subset of Catholic Hispanic voters, and you still have 3 out of 4 Catholic Hispanic voters, that's really eye-opening, isn't it?
And that's independent of location, right? We talk about the differences in these communities based on where you are, right? Mexican voters in Texas versus Cuban voters in Miami. But to your point, Joe, when you look at that issue and how significantly it has changed, and the fact that it cuts through even some of those sort of stronghold communities that you would expect to vote a certain way, it shows you that it's really up for grabs come November.
NBC's Morgan Radford, thank you very much. So interesting.